Right edition, welcome, happy day, airplanes! They're big and they're powerful and they're expensive as well. Air Force One costs $200,000 an hour to operate, and the cost for 2012 alone was about $500 million. Are you with me on that? $500 million? I sure hope that president did a good job spending all that kind of money. That's just the airplane. Then there's all the side things that go with it. It's full of people. The people get paid monthly salaries and so on. Don't you know? I remember I had an airplane one time. Actually, I've had a couple of them, but back in the 80s when I was rich, once I had a Learjet Lear 24. My operating cost in that was $1,000 an hour back then. I had 2 full-time pilots. Then I got poor and I got rid of everything, but just sharing with you doesn't even compare to Air Force One, though, does it? Hey, Canadian polls now show that the support for the Conservative government has been collapsing. I don't believe much in polls. I kind of think they're for dancers and dogs, but in any event, these same polls have been giving pretty much same numbers now for 7 years, so maybe there's something to it. Who knows? But in any event, the Liberals now are making big gains in Ontario, and that's kind of the, I don't know, the center of the universe in terms of Canada. And the Liberals are at 36%, Conservatives are at 30%, and the rest of the commies are about 23%, NDP, Greens, and so on. It always does come out to the same number, though. About 70% of all Canadian voters are left wing. That's a combination of the Libs and the NDPs and so on, all the tree huggers, and about 30%, less than a third, call it a third even for conversation, of all Canadians actually vote Conservative. And as I've said before, included in that third is myself. Is that good grammar? And other people like me. And I only go there because I have nowhere else to go, because they're far too left for me. They should maybe look at all those poll numbers and say, maybe they're right. People don't like us much. Maybe we should change our deal. How about, I know, we'll be capitalists. We'll try that and see if it works. Maybe they should, because what they're doing right now ain't working. Let's see, liberal logic. That's kind of a neat term, liberal logic, because it's almost contradictory, because I didn't think they were very logical at all. But then here it goes, liberal logic. Trees have souls, unborn babies do not. A bunch of goofs with all their things. Planned Parenthood, that would be abortion, and there was almost 500,000 children aborted last year in the U.S., and that's part of their liberal logic. The other part is the NRA murders children, because of course they allow guns to go out there to the good people, right? The liberal logic, CEOs who make millions and millions of dollars a year are very greedy. Hollywood stars who make millions of dollars a year, they earn every penny. Michelle Obama spent $500,000 of taxpayer money on one vacation. That wasn't newsworthy at all. And Romney spent $1,000 of her money, not taxpayer money, on a blouse, just on a blouse. That was big news. I mean, well, the capitalist system, down with capitalists and a bunch of bad people. Whoa, hold it now. But they earned the money. Michelle, I don't think you did. Oil companies, back to liberal logic. Are you ready? This is kind of cool. Oil companies make 8 cents profit on a gallon of gas. Wow. They're greedy, bad capitalist people. Again, hold it, the government takes 13 cents tax on every gallon. That's okay, because that's logical, because we're liberals and we ain't that bright. Minority and other groups, in kind of keeping with the liberal logic, you know, they always amaze me, but the demand is from them for equality. Like, look at the homosexual group or sector, for instance. We want to be treated exactly the same as everyone else, even though we're not. That's what we want. You know, it's interesting, though, because those same groups, them just as an example, they protest against people with guns. You know, they say, for instance, homosexuals, let's jump over now back to the abortion people. I mean, pro-life, you know, pro-choice. We want to be able to choose to have an abortion, but 98% of all those who do are actually liberal in their thinking and don't support your right to look after your life. It's okay to take a life, but you can't look after your life. Again, there is no logic there, but it's liberal logic. I mean, there's 1,000 different things you can pick out and compare to, and none of them ever compute in terms of freedom. And a lot of these people, I think, should move to China, right? Because they're communists in China. That's maybe where they all belong. Let me end today with a short story. Here it comes. Okay, this is from Charles Ponzi. He was an American swindler. The Ponzi scheme was actually named after him. That's how good he was. This kind of sounds like a political scheme today. Here's what he said. Pretty interesting quote. Even if they never got anything for it, it was cheap at that price. Y'all come back more. I got more for you from the right. See ya.